I bought a 23andMe kit about a year or so ago, and I sat on it for a while. And I don't know why it took me so long to spit in a simple tube and send it out to this company called 23andMe that specializes in DNA tests and helping you understand your ancestry and your health history, you know, stuff like that. And I was really excited at first when I started thinking about, you know, getting an ancestry test, because I was adopted as a baby and I was abandoned when I was an infant, and I was left with what I understand to be zero information about my family, where I'm from, who my mother was, who my father was, who that family is. And so I was given a Jane Doe type name at the orphanage, and was put through the system of being adopted. And so the adoption agency that I was adopted through was called Holt International, that would bridge the gap between American families and orphanages in Korea and other places. There were other orphanages that they worked with in Asia and Southeast Asia. And so, yeah, I'm about to find out my DNA results and perhaps my ancestry results, maybe known relatives that I've never known in my adult life or young life, any time during my life, what that is. I've always checked off on the boxes whenever I'm filling out forms, like, what's your family health history? I would just check off unknown and have to write in the free-form field that I was adopted. So I had no idea if my family has heart conditions or a propensity towards certain breast cancers. And I signed a waiver when I signed up for 23andMe on the website, as to, not a waiver, I'm not sure what that means, but like, as in, do you give us permission to give you those results if you want them? And those are very, very sensitive, personal, life-changing results that you can receive. And so I did that 2 weeks ago. So I thought that I had more time. I thought that I had maybe 4 to 6 weeks, which is what, you know, you hear, like an under promise, over deliver type situation. And that's fine. But again, I thought that I had more time to kind of think about it and sort of, I don't know, let it marinate in my mind what I was doing and what I'm about to find out. One of the biggest fears that I have about looking at the results of this DNA and ancestry test is either I find out nothing, which means I'm just back to where I was before, which was not knowing anything, or I find out a lot, and there's a lot to process from that, which is certain health conditions. Those are things to process, and how do you process that? How do you move forward from that knowledge or information about yourself? And again, I had nothing to go by for years up until now. And the ancestry part is interesting. It's fascinating anyway. And so maybe my birth parents have nieces or nephews or sons or daughters who decided that they wanted to put their information out on file with 23andMe, and hopefully, maybe I'll find my birth parents. And definitely something that I've been wondering about. I haven't been really actively seeking that because, again, I was told I was left with nothing, no paperwork, no name. This is the only method that I've actually tried and actually gone through with to make that step. And so here we go. I received an email today that said, 23andMe, your reports are ready. That's the subject line. And it says, Tamara, welcome to you. The 23andMe results for Tamara are in. A world of DNA discovery is waiting. All right, so Just gonna point this over here, and let's see. When you log on to 23andMe and you submit your kit, you're given a chance to create a username and a login and create a profile. So you're asked to answer a bunch of questions. I guess we'll find out, you know, how relevant they are to the kind of results that I'm getting. But yeah, we'll see. Okay. So the screen says, tomorrow it's time to learn more about your DNA story. Your ancestry, traits, and health results based on your DNA are now available. And I'm going to start with Ancestry. And it says here under quick links, Ancestry, there are 53 reports. Okay. It says Ancestry Composition. So I said that I was adopted from South Korea. It says your DNA suggests your ancestry is 93.4 Korean with ties to 2 other populations. So I guess it's no surprise there. So I'm gonna hit the actually I'm gonna skip that over because there's another section here. It's purple. It says DNA relatives list. You share DNA with ancestors with 1,015 other 23andMe customers. See your full list of DNA relatives. And I see that there's a pie chart here, or like a little histogram here. It says my name, and there's one link out here to 1,115 relatives, and one close relative. I think this is just an extra step you take after having built out your initial profile. Review your basic information, display my birth year. Would you like to display your ancestry results and matching DNA segments to DNA relatives? The answer is yes. Okay, so I see a list of people, and some of them have pictures, some of them don't, and some say second to third cousin, third to fourth cousin, third to fifth cousin. So these are lots and lots of cousins, and it makes sense because a lot of people my age or a bit younger will be submitting these types of DNA results through 23andMe. So I'm trying to figure out, sort by strength of relationship. So H.J. Kang is a second to third cousin. That's my closest. 2.85 DNA shared, and then it says 7 segments. And I don't know what that means, but I'm going to find out. Okay, so it says, you and this person may share a set of great-grandparents. But it also says you could also be from different generations. Or share only one ancestor. I'll take what I can get. And it shows here, this red part here says great-grandparents. Branching down and to the right, and 2 levels down is my second cousin. And then from there it shows, of course, branching down to grandparent to parent and then to me. So it seems very possible that I could get in touch with this person and find out who my parents are. Okay. And then we have 34 relatives in common. And there are 4th cousins and 5th cousins. I wish I knew what this meant, though. I wish I knew what if the last name Kang is a name that belongs to me, or I don't know how this works, because I never looked into it. I never looked into how family works. I never really cared about what second cousins, first, or siblings meant. I mean, siblings I do mean, but like I know, but like second, third, and fourth. How does that work with grandparents, and how does that work with last names? But this is something that's better than the nothing I had for years. Okay.